attention. Get your pad and your paper out. Get your notepad ready. And welcome to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. How's everybody doing? Everybody having a great day? Wow, we're like in full swing of the preseason slate. Yesterday was Saturday, and it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of fun action going on yesterday. We had the Battle of New York. I'm not here to talk about the Miami Dolphins, I promise. But we had the Battle of New York. The Jets and the Giants went at it yesterday, and we did not get to see Fields play. The Jets chose to run a bunch of twos out. I guess they're satisfied with Mr. Fields.
Or he's still getting reps.
Yeah, and that deep, sultry, sexy man voice across from me, matriculating on your screen from north to south. That is Mr. Matthew Masaracchio. Dumbass.
What's up, everybody?
The monitor of Atlas 3I.
Atlas 3I.
Yeah. He's keeping an eye on the UFOs for us. So it's
just a big turd in space heading our way.
As long as it doesn't hang a left turn, I'm good.
Well, I think it's got to hang a right turn by the time it gets to us. But one of the turns, it's got to turn. If it turns,
it's coming right for us.
Please don't turn.
Just keep
going. Keep turding through space.
Keep turding through space. Keep on turning.
Yes.
So, still, that won't affect us for another 2 more months if it does manage to turn right on us.
We're good through
week
6.
Yeah, at least week 6.
All right.
We're going to get some football in.
So let's go.
What's that burning object in the sky? Whatever. Who's up? Who's starting today? Who's injured?
Give me some value picks today.
So, we are all over the fantasy preseason right now because some leagues are starting their drafts as early as today. Some leagues are getting their drafts in now.
Can I tell you that I just pulled up the latest mock draft? McCaffrey 3rd overall.
Let him.
Let him.
You people are nuts.
What are we doing right now? I mean, we've talked about it. We talked about players' first-round risks inherently every year. Does he not check enough risk boxes for you that you're going to take him 3rd overall?
All I do is go, good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick. You betcha.
I mean, and this was the latest one from today. I've been using the same site, this Fantasy Pros, and again, pros being relative.
Pros.
Yeah. But again, Fantasy Pros website, really good. I do like it because when you do
pros.
Click on the individual players, they do give you a lot of metric statistics, which I like to use. So if you want a site that's got good information on it, they do go pretty detailed with the information. I do like it a lot.
You can call them nerds. Yeah. It's okay. We have lots of fantasy nerds.
But McCaffrey, again, opened it up today. I just hit refresh. It runs all the mocks. And then McCaffrey has moved up to number 3 overall. First 4 picks, Chase Robinson. That's been the same. But now McCaffrey 3, Barkley 4, then the rest of the bunch. Jefferson, Lamb, Gibbs. It starts to make sense where it's been. But the biggest move has been almost an entire round. Because I've seen him on the turn in round 2.
Right.
And now he's up almost he's the 3rd pick overall. Listen, this is the tape. We all know the Niners. We know the schedule is easy. We know Purdy got at the extension. If McCaffrey's playing and he's healthy, he's going to get numbers. That's not even the consideration, okay?
Yep.
The offense is going to go through Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
His ability to catch the football, yards after the catch.
Agreed.
He's just a smart, good football player.
Sure.
But no different than Derrick Henry, no different than other guys that we have relied on for years now to give us production. At some point, it is inevitable that the wheels come off. And when we talk about when you're checking your boxes and you're trying to decide on this player or that player in a particular tier, I don't see any argument that's going to validate McCaffrey, especially in the 3rd pick overall. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. Now, that being said, he plays, let's say, 14 games, which is a considerable amount for a running back. And
I'll take the under.
I mean, but even if he does, he goes 14 games, he'll give you 14. He'll give you a monster season.
Sure.
But here's another box to check, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, is that where are these teams going to be with these particular players? They're not looking fantasy production, okay? They're looking at their real-life NFL production. They're going to be keeping close tabs on usage, on situational usage especially, on these players because – again, they want these players when it matters, okay? We want them every week to play for us, but that's not the reality in real sports, okay? You have to kind of blend the two realities. Your reality as a fantasy owner and their reality as an NFL team and what's best for the team.
And listen, any regular player on any fantasy team now that we have a 17-week season, if I can get 15 weeks out of them, I'm happy.
Sure.
I'm thrilled.
Sure.
Okay, if I can 15. Okay, less than 15 starts to get a little dicey. Less
Yeah.
than 10, I'm mad.
Yeah, very few guys
Okay.
play a full schedule.
Yeah,
Especially
so-
the skill position guys.
Yeah, and we all know that, I mean, okay, I have a tendency to pick players from winning teams, and winning teams, once you get to week 16 and 17, they have a tendency to take breaks because they're anticipating a playoff run. They're going to rest guys for the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. We already clinched where we are. We're not going to get any better than the second or the third or whatever. We're not going to clinch home field. Okay, so-and-so gets to sit. I dig that. But give me 15 weeks of your metrics, your balling out, all the consistent numbers that you normally give.
Yeah.
My prediction for Mr. McCaffrey, first 8 games. He's going to 8 games, going to ball out, going to give you at least 6 monster games because he is now, as far as a receiving option, after the receivers,
That room is pretty thin right
right
now.
after your WR1, which we're all going to assume is going to be Juwan Jennings, and then your second option is going to be Kittle.
Yeah, well, you got Pearsall
and
too.
he's going to get more looks. He's going to get more touches. But then you're going to go to McCaffrey after that. He's going to be the third option, and he's going to be the stronger third option. So yes, you have Pearsall and you have
Brandon.
Ayuk isn't going to be back until at least the
6th week or something like
seventh
that.
week.
Yeah.
He's going to be the first. He's going to be on the pup.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's cutting right now. He's just straight line running. He fucked his knee up pretty bad. So what you see with McCaffrey is everybody's anticipating a little higher usage than normal. I'm anticipating that he is going to have a very strong first half of the season, but that wear and tear is going to come into play. I don't care how easy your schedule is. You're playing NFL teams, okay? Everybody's big, everybody's fast, everybody's strong, everybody hits fucking hard, okay? Hard. Okay, trust me, I've talked to NFL players. We've had NFL players in the club, okay? And I've asked them, I said, tell me, is there really a difference between D1 football and the pros as far as hitting is concerned? He goes, yeah, there's some grown men in D1 football that hit you hard, but like the 5'9", 190-pound corner will hit you hard. Everybody hits you hard. Everybody runs fast, okay? The pros are a different animal. And that wear and tear that we have seen over time, not just the catastrophic injuries that McCaffrey's had, but the wear and tear injuries, the soft tissue injuries that we have seen. Okay, now homeboy has gone to Germany to get the good steroids. He's gone to the peptides. Peptides.
Yeah, peptides.
They're research peptides. Over there, they're not research peptides. Over there, they're just peptides.
They're just performance-enhancing drugs. Is
Yeah,
what they are.
and whatever he's done has gotten by the NFL scrutiny. Has gotten by the NFL test, so everybody might want to. We might be seeing a whole bunch of really large American people in Berlin next year, around March or April. They're there for their therapy.
Yeah.
So
well, back to the schedule you mentioned in terms of how these players are used and how it relates to us.
Right.
Most of our seasons, the regular season ends approximately week 13. Of the NFL
13,
season.
14,
well,
yeah.
Because then 14 starts the first round, then
right.
15. So we don't want to get into when it really doesn't matter for some of these teams. But by week 11, by week 12, by week 13, these teams know where they're going, who they are, and it's your job to kind of prognosticate where you think they're going to be and how these players are going to be used. And the older players, I can tell you that it makes perfect sense that these teams are going to be watching their usage. And if you're depending on getting first-round value from a guy that's in the end stages of his career that has these histories and has these concerns, then what are you taking the risk for? Let somebody else take that risk. Just don't be that guy. And there's other players that fit that same criteria.
I will give one piece of advice for you McCaffrey drafters. Draft his backup. Draft his backup. Don't wait until free agency. Draft his backup. Okay? Smart fantasy players know you go get your bell cow, but you get down there 13th, 14th round, go find their backup.
Yeah, the handcuff is like they used to say.
Well, the handcuff is actually somebody who comes in and actively takes away reps, especially goal line handcuffs. Okay, no, I'm talking about the backup. Okay, it's somebody that you're not going to rely on until there's a disaster. Okay, I've almost listen. I have been this close to arguing with both commissioners in both leagues that I play in about offering an extra roster spot. Why? Just for the backup running back, the backup quarterback, whatever you want. We went team QB, which is fine. The QB moves on. You can't go team running back. So
Well, get rid of the kickers and open up.
Shut up,
spot.
you.
Makes sense.
Always after the kickers.
Gosh, those kickers.
Yeah, and so we're going to do a kicker segment. Is
Wait,
that
hold
what
on a second. Can I take a break from the show so I can finish my research on the kickers? Yeah, okay. Because I want to make sure I. It's just. What are we doing here?
All right, so McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean, there's
the
other
big
guys.
advice is get a backup, or have plenty of running backs,
Yeah, or just don't take them.
or just don't
Just
take
let
them.
somebody
No,
else.
no, go ahead and take them. Go ahead and take them. Take them.
Oh, I forgot. This is the.
Take
this
him
is
at
used to-
9.
Yeah, take him at 3.
Take
like
him
this
at 9.
draft did.
Lee, if you're watching this, Lee with the Motley Crue League, Lee is at number 9. Take him at number 9. I'm sure he might be available by then. I mean, because we know Matt's not going to take him at number 8.
No, Matt's not taking him at number 8.
Yeah, we know who Matt's taking at number 8.
Yeah, I already spelled out my theory.
Yeah, well,
I have no problem putting it out there because I know the players that I'm going to be able to get.
Yeah.
Because I've got players in my tiers in certain areas that I feel
that's
like they're
what
gonna be
mock
available.
drafts are for.
Yeah, I've only done a few hundred so far. So
Only a few hundred.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's guys like that, first round guy, even second round guys. You just want to, you need those guys to perform because if you don't, you're chasing what those guys were supposed to give you the entire season.
Well, let me ask you something off the cuff thing. Let's start rattling off players that are overrated at their ADP right now.
Okay.
Who else is overrated at their ADP right now?
Well, I mean, again, risk factors I talked about. Derrick Henry's also a first-round selection, and like we said last week, I know we're still stuck on his uphill running videos and all that great stuff. And okay, but father time, the abuse, the amount of carries that man has had. I'm sorry. I know he's a big part of their plans, and he is a big part of their offense. But in the first round, with that risk, again, another guy that when it, and Baltimore's going to be in the mix. So towards the end of the season, they're going to be looking at workloads for some of these guys because they're going to be looking long term. So why would you put yourself in that position with a guy like Derrick Henry? Same thing, first round pick.
Well, and he's got a very capable backup. And was it Kavion Mitchell? Is that what his name is?
So,
His
yeah.
last name is Mitchell.
But again, we try and project what we think these players are going to be and what they're going to do,
Right.
or at least based upon how we feel they can perform. But remember, these teams, they don't play fantasy football. They play real
football.
Yeah. So, in a vacuum, yeah, Derrick Henry could have another great season. He could
Monster.
run. The guy is unbelievable. His metrics last year really didn't take that much of a hit. Like, yards after contact and, vision metrics, all these different things. He's still an elite player. But his body may not support that elite ability that he tries to project on the field.
We know he missed a couple of. He went out in a couple of games and didn't come back because the games were socked away and he got nicked. We know he didn't play week 17 because they had already set their playoff placement. So we knew he had an extra week of rest there at the end. So he was all right. So.
Just create a scenario. You're in week 14, first week of your playoffs.
Right.
Ravens are sitting at 11-2. Okay, whatever their record may be.
Right.
First place, whatever, and he's questionable. You think he's getting no worse than a full workload that game?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's when you're going to need a guy like that. So wouldn't you rather have Jamar Gibbs week 14? Or would you rather have Derrick Henry week 14? These are guys that are being taken in comparable spots. Would you rather have a Jonathan Taylor? Again, now he's got maybe a little bit of an injury history, but these are players that their roles are defined primarily from week 1 through the end of the season. Like, you really can't paint a picture where, they're going to be pulling a young guy off the field in any situation, regardless of what the team is in week 12, week 13, week 14. These guys are there to have to earn a check. They get paid. The teams want to play them. This is where they're still trying to win games.
It's like, why are you here?
Yeah, so, again, that's one of the things that we have to start to consider when we're deciding between players, or if one guy's on the fence, one guy's not on the fence.
And if you can't do it, we'll go find somebody who can.
You have to consider these sorts of things in terms of these older players because, again, their roles are gonna. You need them to play, and if they're not in positive game scripts, situations where the team needs them to play, then you're left holding the bag, and it's an empty one. So that's not good.
It's a crazy bag.
Yeah, you're chasing it.
It's a crazy bag. Okay, well, speaking of guys in the first round that other people have questions about. I still have people questioning Malik Neighbors with the Giants.
Okay.
People are questioning his value coming in anywhere between 9 and 12.
Typical. He's the back end of the first round. Yeah.
Right. And people are questioning that, along with the little questionable tag and his lack of playing time in the preseason. And I try to remember. I remember, and I try to remind people, he's an LSU receiver. He is built along the same lines as Justin Jefferson. He is built on the same lines as Jamar Chase. Those guys are alphas. Those guys are WR1s through and through to the bone. He had a great season last year with Dominic DiNucci throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
throwing
about
meatballs at him.
Listen, it's opportunity.
There was gravy on the ball. You know that, right? Because it's Sunday, so it's Sunday gravy.
It comes down to just opportunity and a game. Again,
gravy or sauce.
Do you think the situation is going to be better or worse for him this year? Does it matter with Malik Neighbors?
I think it's going to be infinitely better for him.
It doesn't have to be. It just has to be at least the same for what he did
Did you
last
see Jackson
year.
Dart yesterday?
I get it. But back to Malik Neighbors. Okay, he was a 32% target share last year.
Yeah.
That's tops in the league.
Yes.
Okay, that's not going to...
Because he was the only guy they could really throw to.
All right, it's not going to change. So opportunity, volume, all those mean production, means fantasy points, means what you're looking for.
Right.
So yes, if the Giants do get better, whether it's infinitely better or just marginally better or anything in between, his floor is still tremendous.
Tremendous.
Because of his talent and because of opportunity, okay? And because if you look across that wide receiver room and that offense, he is the guy, okay? I like having the guy on my team. That usually spells success, production.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
That's what you're looking for.
All right, well, I'm going to put you on the spot. You come up at number 8. You have a choice between Malik Neighbors, let's say
Puka
Nico
Nacua.
Collins,
Okay, Puka Nacua. Right.
And CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
Who are you taking?
Well, probably CeeDee Lamb in that spot, only because I just don't feel CeeDee's going to get down all the way to 8. CeeDee Lamb's he's a step
I'm just
ahead.
it's conjecture, goddammit.
Yeah, it's in order. I'll just list those guys in order.
Okay.
I like CeeDee Lamb 1.
Right.
Malik Neighbors very close at number 2.
Okay.
And then down the rest of the list, Nico Collins at 3.
Right.
Because his metrics pop. You go look at his catch rate.
And he's got something to prove.
And it's a receiver room with a history of injuries. Tank Dell's already starting the year on the unable.
Our boy Christian Kirk is his number 2 on the other side,
which I love.
He's the wide receiver.
So that probably in that order 1, 2, 3, probably Lamb, Neighbors, and then Nico third. Neighbors is he's really, and he's super talented. It's not like it's just about opportunity.
Oh, no,
go watch
the choir,
go
bro.
watch him play. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
For me,
speaking of Puka Nacua, I've been passing on him. I'm at number 10 in one league, and he's been getting to me, and I've been passing. No, thanks, pass, because I have Malik Neighbors as an option.
Right.
I have Nico Collins as an option.
Puka came in last year at just under a 35% target share. Okay. Neighbors was just over 35%. These are elite numbers in terms of target share. I always talk about the magic number being 100 targets. So if you're getting 100 plus targets, you're getting massive production. Over the last several years, we've talked about if you get north of 100 targets, I think 85 to 90% of the top 25 receivers in scoring are all north of 100 targets. That's the marker. Targets, opportunity, production. So Puka, we know he's going to get targets. Okay, he's the guy. He also was first in the league in first read target share at 46% last year. So Stafford's looking for this guy. But Stafford being the key word in that sentence.
Stafford's looking for a chiropractor right now.
It sucks because I love Stafford and I love that man's ability. And he is, I took heat over the last 2 years talking about he's a top 5 quarterback.
Well, he's 37 now? 36, 37.
In that range.
It was about 36, 37 that I had to go to my first chiropractor myself. So.
But to me, you know what it seems like? It seems like he's an old 36 and 37. Because
not if you look at his wife, you know.
No, I mean in football years. Ooh. Because he took abuse in Detroit for years.
Yeah.
He carried that team for years.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, all that. Admiral job. First ballot Hall of Famer for me now, especially with the ring. But that's the biggest question mark, is you got to have somebody throwing in the football. And I know Jimmy's the backup, and I get that. And still, Puka's target share is not going to really take much of a hit.
You know what's...
But that worries me a little bit.
I follow this kid Tyler TNT on Instagram. Okay, he's one of those millennial or Zoomer kids. He's got the camera like right here. He's like, things you missed in preseason. Oh my God! He's one of those really hyperbolic, screaming, shouting kids. And every time that he does a highlight by Jimmy Garoppolo out here throwing hospital balls, I'm like, oh my God, hospital balls.
That's funny.
Yeah, so there's going to be a precipitous drop-off if there is no Matthew Stafford. Okay, because I don't think that Jimmy is going to have the same bias to include Puka. I believe that you're going to get Devontae Adams stealing some target share.
Yeah.
Okay, because we all know Devontae don't keep his mouth shut. Devontae's open. Devontae's going to yell and scream until somebody throws him the damn ball.
Yeah. Well, Devontae could very well lead that team in touchdowns too.
Exactly.
But only catch 60 passes.
Y'all forget who Devontae Adams is just because he, wasted his time with the New York Jets for 1 year.
Yeah. Well, Puka's the alpha. The offense is phenomenal. Obviously, they've got the best offensive mind in the league calling plays. Everything lines up for Puka to fit into that first round and give you massive value. But you've got a few things to consider. You got the Stafford injuries. You got even Puka's not a healthy player. He runs through some problems too.
He's been taking the beating.
Yeah, so he's not a big guy. And again, when we talk about team philosophy, these are the teams. This is their gold, and they want to protect their gold. So where's it going to be when it matters down the stretch? The Rams could go either way. If Stafford struggles and he's not healthy and misses a few games, and they're not winning games, how important is that going to be for Puka come playoff time?
Because Kyron Williams cannot carry the ball 45 times a game.
Yeah, you got to consider situations and where these teams are going to be when you need their players the most. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, and we're not just talking about new player faces in new places. Okay, we're also talking about new coaches in new positions. I mean, you look at the Detroit Lions; they've got a new offensive and defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
They not only have they got a new offensive and a defensive coordinator, but they lost a linebacker coach. They lost a kicking coach. Sorry about the kicker thing, but they've lost a lot of important pieces to their coaching staff. And there's talk right now that their offense might actually be a little more dynamic. It might be a little more loosey-goosey because under Ben Johnson, everything was, it was tempo. It was everything goes according to schedule. There was no
they had two running backs finished inside the top 10 in production.
Right, and that's easy to do. Yeah. Okay, but now you have a situation, and we've seen it with their backups, and we also saw it with Jared Goff in his limited action. Design rollouts. That's a new wrinkle to that offense. And Goff can pull it off. We've seen him roll out and throw on the run all the time. So there's going to be new wrinkles, there's going to be new stuff. They may even be a little more productive.
By the way, Amon-Ra
got to watch
St.
those
Brown,
new coaches.
Since he's been in the league, okay,
that's our boy.
Is third in total touchdowns since he's been in the league
nice.
for receivers.
Nice.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
So just a super talented guy. 4th round pick, I think, wherever he came out of.
No, he was like a third rounder.
Pick,
he's. Yeah, I think he took the number 14 because of the 14 receivers that were picked ahead of him.
Interesting.
He's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder.
Well, it's paying off for Detroit.
I still want to see him and his brother do the Key and Peele college football introduction bit that they do. You've never seen Key and Peele college football introduction? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, the ridiculous names that come up, And I mean, come on, Equanimous St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
But they do.
Their parents drank a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, Their dad is a world-class bodybuilder and weightlifting coach.
Yeah, no, I've seen.
Okay, easy now.
I know. Well, he drinks.
Mr. St. Brown.
Yeah.
You definitely say Mr. St. Brown. So, yeah, I would, like I said, I would also pay attention to new coaches in situations, okay? Because you're gonna sit there and if it's in your information is incomplete if you go by past production and what is expected, what are the projected statistics are going to be, okay? But your research is incomplete if you don't take into account the new coach, the new offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly in Las Vegas. Yesterday we started to see what that offense was going to look like.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see you got new coaches in position, not just head coaches but coordinators. You have to take those into account, and that will be either a plus or a minus. You probably won't stay at the mean. Some players may not adapt to the offense early, so their numbers are going to hurt as far as the macro is concerned, okay, especially early on, but they get the hang of it later in the season, suddenly they get back to normal. Try not to cut them before that happens. So you've got to watch out for that stuff. That's the little details that get you that fake pro wrestling championship across your shoulder. You know, so we're trying to help. We really are.
Speaking of championships wrestling, I'm going to get that belt this year from Tim Frazier.
Well, if I keep
my turn.
If I keep losing weight, my waist gets small enough, I'll actually be able to wear it.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. I haven't been able to wear a championship belt until the last time I was able to wear a championship belt, I was actually part of a championship tag team. So, yeah, that's still about 40 or 50 pounds away. So, let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back and we're going to hash up. No, we're not going to go after the Atlas. Atlas what?
3i.
3i. No, we're not going to talk about the flying turd rushing past the sun. But we will come up with some more stuff. We'll pull it out of our booty hole in about 2.5 minutes. Here is a PSA about one of our favorite all-time players, Mr. Ed Gennaro, here on the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk.
Now, let's analyze what's been working for us. Not a goddamn thing's been working for us. Like this goddamn suit doesn't work for me. And this stinking tie, and this goddamn shirt, it doesn't work for me. You know how to play winning hard-nosed football? You play football like Ed Gennaro played football. A guy who gave his life for this football team. He was a 140-pound halfback, and he played like a goddamn wild man. No, like a goddamn rampaging beast. And that's the way you gotta do it. You go out there, you tear their fucking heads off, and you shit down their necks. Let us pray.
Gonzo Radio. Gonzo Radio.
Yes, fantastic argument, but unfortunately, your mama. Welcome back to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. That's okay. I crack myself up. I'll laugh at this shit. That's all right. We were chewing on what it is we were going to actually bring you here, in the second segment here for take it home to the noontime hours so that you guys can go back to mocking drafts. And one thing that we noticed is the fluidity of this preseason and the injuries in this preseason. Prolific injuries in this preseason. And we wanted you all to, a lot of people, I love when I hear people say, oh, it's just a preseason, it doesn't matter. I'm like, yeah, and that's why you keep finishing out of the playoffs year in and year out. You keep ponying up your dough, you keep showing up to the drafts, you keep making your declarations of championship, okay? But every once in a while during that draft, we see you draft a guy that, oh no, he's been injured, he's not going to be back until week 6. Huh? I didn't hear about that. Yeah, how many preseason games did you watch? How many news during the preseason? How much news did you watch during the preseason? Oh, it's just a preseason. Okay. See you next year.
Yeah, for me,
Bring your
preseason
money.
is not so much about player performance and statistics, but it's about opportunities that change. It's about storylines that maybe
Players that develop.
yeah, and storylines that change as the preseason goes on. Even the teams get it wrong sometimes, and they have to adjust on the fly. So you have to be able to make those adjustments too.
Look how many teams have open quarterback competitions going on right now. Okay, besides the Browns, the Browns always have an open quarterback competition. Even when they had a healthy Deshaun Watson, you still had an open quarterback competition. Okay, but look at the number of teams. You got the New York Giants. They got like 4 guys in there. We all know Dominic DiNucci isn't going to compete for the starting job, but I anticipate that Jackson Dart is going to be under center first snap of the season. He just looked yesterday. He looked like the starter. Okay, he looked like the starter. He really did.
Now let me just transverse real quickly something about one of my favorite preseason quarterbacks of all time. This guy is the best preseason quarterback ever. Jarrett Stidham. This kid, if you were to give away trophies in the preseason every year, Jarrett Stidham
preseason MVP
is the guy that you look at his numbers. You're like 18 to 24 for 260 yards and 2 touchdowns. Every preseason game is like that for Jarrett Stidham.
You know who he's going to end up being? Rich Gannon. He's going to end up being Rich Gannon.
He may get his shot. Yeah, he may get his shot at some point.
Eventually, he'll
play
be
in a big game.
year 13, and all of a sudden, nobody's around, and he's going to get to start, and they're going to be like, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Jarrett Stidham, I just want to throw it in there. So, yeah, I get it. Preseason performance to a degree, he did look good, like you're saying yesterday. Jackson Dart has impressed.
Right, but all this stuff is important.
No, it's a part of the story. It tells a story for him.
Exactly.
And his overall value certainly has increased. His trajectory is upwards. We do have players that come in the league, quarterback positions especially, that do surprise, that are like, oh, wow, he is pretty good. He's ready. He is developing at a pace
Jackson Dart,
where he may be ready to start week 3, week 6, whatever. But no, that's a good. But again, we're looking for primarily, because those are anomalies. Those are things that don't generally happen. We're looking for situational changes. We're looking for a backfield room that opens up. For instance, in your team, the Miami Dolphins, Madison goes down for the year. The faith in Jalen Wright seems to be waning a little bit. And Devon A-Chain, we're talking about some soft tissue injuries. Okay, Ali is making a slow ascension through the depth chart, where, again, it's not even so much about being the best player in the room. It's about having the most opportunity in the room. And then you may become that player. So this is a situation. It's your team. I'll let you kind of break down that backfield and what the potential role could be for a guy that coming in certainly wasn't on anybody's radar, but now is slowly starting to get people's attention because opportunities are presenting itself. So tell me about your guy.
I am on the Ollie Gordon III bandwagon.
Ollie.
On that bandwagon, all over it. Why, you may ask? All right. In 2023, Ollie Gordon was a Heisman Trophy candidate frontrunner. Heisman Trophy candidate. Led the nation in rushing. Was destroying people. Had a little fall off. Had a couple of injuries that hurt his numbers. few things that people didn't understand also that they had turnover on their offensive line. So, his offensive line wasn't blocking as well as it was in 23. He had a couple of nicked up injuries. That, of course, is going to lead to a fall in production. Okay, it's college football. But when Mr. Gordon hit the field and I saw that dude in shells and helmet standing there with all the running backs, there were 5 running backs all standing in one spot, and one guy looked like a grown man and the other 4 looked like mascots. I'm sorry, with deference to Devin A. Chan and Jalen Wright, and even to Madison. Okay, Madison didn't measure up to his size. Madison looked like a grown man too, but Ollie is large, and Ollie runs angry. He runs hard. He is a one-cut, give me the ball, one-cut, go. Hit that hole. Oh, your linebacker's in the hole? He's going to pay. Okay, and he wins. You talk about 50-50 matchups. He'll knock your linebacker on his ass. Okay, we've already seen it a couple of times in the preseason.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead, any sort of injury, any sort of fall off in production, any sort of lost luster for Jalen Wright, you're going to see Ollie Madison. Ollie Madison could end up Wally Pippen this thing.
Ollie Gordon.
Ollie Gordon, excuse me. I keep Madison and Gordon, and
That's okay.
Ollie Madison
Okay.
is an old player. But anyway,
Yeah.
Ollie Gordon could end up Wally Pippen this thing. He could end up taking over as the starting running back and never giving it up for the next 6-7 years.
Well, in terms of fantasy-wise and where he's being taken, he's not. Like, I'm
oh
looking,
yeah, nobody cares, and that's great.
Like, I'm looking at the back end of your draft, and in this expert, and I'm looking for his name, and I just don't see him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
now that may change in the next week or two as things start to continue to shake out.
And that's my advice to anybody who makes the logical choice of Devin A. Chan in the 2nd round or the beginning of the 3rd round, because he's sliding because of this injury news. He's sliding because we've all gotten wind of the fact that Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel, they like to be, I'm going to say, cagey with the injury information. They do. They just do. They supply just enough information. They use a lot of conjecture.
Up against the line is
exactly.
what they do. They don't cross it.
They tell you, yes, he's injured. They don't give you any idea when he's going to be back.
Yeah.
Okay, so that could mean that Achan is fine, and they're just waiting to use him till the beginning of the season, or that he is more seriously injured than we think.
Getting ready to go into the knife.
Or needs another month.
Yeah, you never know.
But we're going to find out in the next couple of weeks.
But Ollie is a kind of
and
guy.
Ollie Gordon is going to be a guy that's going to get touches.
Well, he's a back end of your draft guy, last pick on the
if
board.
you draft
still
Devin A. Chan,
Yeah,
you
not even
better
if you
draft
don't.
Ollie Gordon.
Even if you don't. I mean, he's a guy. I mean, we're always looking last couple rounds, and you're taking kickers and defenses, and Ollie would be a guy to put on the bench. So consider that in some
There
of
you
your
go.
leagues. There's other guys like that,
Oh
too.
yeah, well we were talking about Kavion Mitchell.
Yeah.
If you're gonna if I'm gonna draft Derrick Henry, I'm gonna go get Mitchell. I'm gonna go get him in the 14th round. I'm gonna get at the end of the draft. Okay, I'm gonna go get him. I'm gonna go get that
Yeah,
guy.
it's important.
The same way if you draft McCaffrey, you better. Who's going to be the guy that's going to be on the back end of McCaffrey? So who's his immediate backup?
I don't
I
even
don't
know
know. They've
who's
gotten
still
rid
there.
of like 3 guys, and I think they kept the guy from last year.
Yeah.
I can't remember right now.
Not Mitchell.
Okay, but you better go and get the backup for some of these guys who have an injury history, okay, or are high usage guys, because there's going to be opportunities. And especially if you're plugging them into an offense that you know they're going to get the usage, they're going to get the opportunity to produce, they're going to produce, you need to go and get that insurance.
Yeah. Isaac Garendo. He's their backup.
In Baltimore?
Oh, no, I'm on McCaffrey. You said McCaffrey.
Oh, in the oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
The kid that was with Arizona last
Isaac
year.
Garendo and Patrick Taylor.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's who they have. And then they list further down the line, they have Jordan James, Corey Kiner. They do have Jeff Wilson still listed, and Keshawn Vaughn, who's been
Well, they
everywhere.
brought Jeff Wilson back because Jeff Wilson doesn't have a job right
So
now.
basically, it's Isaac Garendo.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he's the
That's
backup.
crazy.
No, when he got spot opportunities, he was
In
productive.
Arizona, yeah.
He was productive, but that's their backup.
Well, it's also one of those Shanahan offenses where you can plug whatever running back in.
Yeah, you can do
And
that.
there's a high floor for a running back in that offense. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's a one cut plant your foot, get upfield type of a running drive blocking
The
scheme.
old Denver style when they used to run it with Terrell Davis and stuff like that.
Which is the reason why Ollie Gordon III, when he gets an opportunity to play for the Dolphins, similar drive blocking style. Period. Similar drive blocking style. You know, speaking of the Miami Dolphins offensive line, which of course they aspire to mediocrity, okay, because they finished what, 28th overall rated last year or 30th overall rated. So you know, to finish 15th, that mediocrity, that's a significant improvement for that unit.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why is Patrick Paul, their young left tackle going into year 2, and so far, our young man has been balling out. And you've seen him. He's a tree. He's 6'7". He's 330 pounds. And one particularly devastating run in the first preseason game saw big old number 52 pulling. Okay, how would you like to be
on the other side of that?
A 6 foot tall, 205 pound corner trying to set the edge, and you see that coming at you as fast as he can run. Okay, coming at you. It's like trying to stand in front of a semi. Okay, and it was devastating. Now, the guy that he was pulling to block, veteran move. Made a business decision, laid down, and he tripped over him. That was it. That was that neutralized him. You want to scare him to death? That's fine. You took that guy out. But the run scheme is going to fit, once again, back to Ollie Gordon. It's going to fit the man. Same way with the Shanahan system, it's going to fit anybody. Anybody's going to fit. But especially if you get a running back who's got that one-cut style, it's on like Donkey Kong. Period. Full stop, mic drop. So
I like it.
Keep an eye out for those guys.
I like it.
That are getting a chance. Keep an eye out for those guys who are going to be next up. Keep an eye out for those guys because preseason is important. Okay, so
I agree. Okay, let's shift a little bit towards maybe one more good topic, and then we could probably wrap. When we are drafting, and we've talked about tiers and stuff like that, I think it's important when you're looking at roster composition to identify where these players are going to rank. And a simple term we use is WR1, WR2, RB1, RB2.
Not just suck.
Yeah, that just simply means
you
that
suck, you don't suck.
If you're an RB1 and you're in a 12-team league, then essentially you come into the top 12 in scoring. RB2, further down the list.
Good for you.
Okay, now, however the draft falls, and I don't want to say you go into it like we talked about, oh, I'm 0 RB. Oh, I'm not taking a quarterback till late. Again, don't put yourself in a box. Just let things happen. Go in with a plan. Have a plan. Have your players in positions and where you want to take them. Identify, like we just did, certain players on back ends of the draft that you feel confident that may return greater value, stuff like that. That's a plan. But in terms of going in saying, I'm going to get that guy, I have to get that guy, it doesn't work like that. And if you do that, it's not going to work.
Nope.
But you can have confidence in your players if you have them in the tiers, and you even go a step further and let's say you use those terms WR1, WR2.
Right.
I'm going to give you a guy like George Pickens. Okay, I know he's going to be taken as probably in the top 5 to 6 rounds. He's probably a 5th round selection. That's
But
what he is here.
technically he's a WR2.
He could, with upside for more.
I would call him 1A.
Okay, so if you're in round 5 and you have your 2 wide receivers and you're confident in where you've taken them, George Pickens is a perfect example of a guy that would be being selected as a wide receiver 3, but can return wide receiver 2 value.
High wide receiver. Yeah, it's
Potential.
And you talk about the designation, okay, of 1, 2, 3, okay, as levels. Okay, but it reverts to the tiers. Not all running back ones are the same tier.
Or in tier 1. No, I get that.
Are in tier 1.
Yeah, there may be separate, very small separation between the players. Let's say on the back end of tier 1 and the front end of tier 2.
Yes.
That's why you don't get so caught up in that. And then
very little overlap.
What you can do at that point is then you can relate to maybe the ADP a little bit more because
Right.
you've already got your tiers. And let's say you've ranked a guy in tier 2 and he's being taken round 5, pick 6 overall.
John Connor.
But you've got a guy at the back end of your first tier, let's say, that's being taken in round 3. Those guys are pretty close in terms of where they're being taken and also in the tiers. But again, the decision may be, well, ADP is telling me this guy's at least a round or 2 better. Maybe you lean in that direction.
Right, because they're a bell cow back.
Yeah.
There's a weak number 2
There's
behind them.
reasons
They're gonna
why
get all
they're
the touches.
there.
Yeah.
So use all these
They're not
certain
all created equally.
parameters. You identify who your WR1s are. Identify who, again, based on projections, based on ceiling even, more so too. So let's just go through a mock draft. I've got in the first, let's say George Pickens is going to be a 5th round selection. Primarily that's where he's being taken. If I'm setting up a situation where I'm looking at him as my 3rd receiver taken in that scenario, if I have to rely on Pickens as being my wide receiver 3, I'm in a really good spot. I'm in a really, really good spot. So identify where these players fit, what their assessment values are based on the WR1s, the 2s, the 3s. And if you've built your team around mostly 1s and 2s, theoretically, your running backs, your tight ends, your quarterbacks, eventually down the line,
You should kick a lot of
your
ass.
team's in a pretty good spot. Yeah. So find guys like that you know are going to be drafted in these earlier rounds, but have the chance to exceed their value where they're being drafted. Because only so many players get taken. And it's very little separation between, let's say, middle tier 2 guys or back end tier 2 guys. And you can consider him, that's where he's being taken. But again, you have to find the metrics. And this one particular site, I've always known Pickens to be an extreme route runner, super talented. You've seen him make these unbelievable highlight plays.
Yep.
Now he's in a situation with a terrible defense, a better quarterback.
Terrible.
He doesn't have to be the number 1. Okay, there's a lot of things that are going in George Pickens' favor right now. So that's a guy that I know is being taken again as a WR3, but can very easily return WR2 value
He
or
ain't
more.
gonna get past me.
Or more. So again, there are guys like that, and that's how I identify those sorts of strengths and value when you're taking those particular players.
Yeah, 100%. And listen, especially in a stack situation. Okay, let's say you get into round 5 and you grab George Pickens. Come back in 6, there's Dak. Dak should be there in 6, round 6. There, you have the Cowboys stack. You have the Cowboys fantasy stack. The only way the stack gets any better is if you have CeeDee Lamb instead of George Pickens. Okay, so you really have to find your players that you know are going to give you that same tier of production. Because do you think that George Pickens is going to outproduce DK Metcalf? DK Metcalf's a tier 1 wide receiver. He's the WR1 for his team by a lot.
It's funny you mentioned that. Okay, can I give you a little DK
But
Metcalf
without
history?
bitching about Rodgers.
No, this is straight up facts. When DK Metcalf has had his most success has been on single high safety.
Yeah.
Because Derek
Eats 'em up.
Because Metcalf is not a superior route runner. He's a physical specimen
Yes.
with incredible speed and size that
Yes.
can go get any ball. The Steelers' offense this year is going to be running primarily 2 tight end and 3 tight end sets.
Right.
Which means you're not going to be able to put another safety over the top.
No.
They're going to the defensive schemes are going to mandate that they run single high safety against the Steelers because of that philosophy. I think you can kind of offset what you feel about Aaron Rodgers or what you feel about the offense of the Steelers, which I can tell you they both suck. But I don't care because opportunity and game planning and understanding how these offenses are going to work, Metcalf is going to be in a similar situation where he thrived in Seattle. So if you think there's going to be a success there a little bit between him and Aaron Rodgers and whatever else you can get past with the
Answer
future
the
offense,
damn question.
I love Metcalf this year. His value goes up. But I still think it's really close. I think I'm going to lean Metcalf in that situation based on the new information that I've learned. But it's close. It's super close.
You've disappointed me for the last time.
Wait, it's super close. I mean, those guys are both in the same tier. So to me,
Right.
those guys
Well,
are both.
But that's my point.
yeah,
that's my point.
It's very. I would not mind. To me, they're about even in terms of where I think they're going to end up.
Right, but don't make the mistake of just brushing off guys like a George Pickens and writing him off as a second tier production wide receiver, okay? Because he's going to bring. I'm telling you right now, he's going to have a career high in touchdowns. Why? Because he's a red zone guy. Why? Because he's a jump ball guy. Why? He's a catch radius guy. All right. He is also an good off schedule route runner, which we know Dak loves those. And across the field from him is a similar guy. You have bookend wide receivers in Dallas right now, and Dak Prescott. You have to take a really good close look when you see pictures of their practice. You can see Prescott has to wipe his chin after every throw when he lines up with those guys because he's drooling in anticipation. Okay, he's thinking 5,000 yards. He's thinking 40 touchdowns. He's thinking that, and you know what? It's a reality. It's really possible. Yeah. Okay, it's really possible. He's got a really good tight end. He's got speedy little guys and Turpin all over the place. If they find anybody who does a half-ass good job in the backfield, Javonte Williams. Okay, they find anybody that can run the ball half-ass.
Metcalf is being taken 21 overall, receiver-wise. Pickens was 30. So you get about 9. That's a tier.
That's a tier.
It's a half a tier. Yeah,
okay.
It's a half a tier. Again, that's a pretty sizable.
Don't make that mistake.
That's a sizable
you
gap.
You go ahead and make that mistake in my draft. See how that works out.
Here are some of the players that are being taken right around Metcalf at 21.
Right.
Okay, now tell me, I'll go 3 in each direction. Would you rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. or would you rather have Metcalf?
Marvin Harrison.
Okay.
Upside.
Terry McLaurin is just being taken right ahead of him.
Terry McLaurin.
And then DJ Moore in Chicago.
Metcalf.
I'm taking Metcalf. I agree. This is just after Metcalf. Cortland Sutton, red zone monster. Offense improving. It's close, right?
Sutton.
It's close.
I like that Denver offense, man.
The rookie from Carolina, McMillan, is only taking 2 picks.
Just by virtue of the fact he's an unknown.
McMillan's being taken 5 picks ahead of Pickens.
I understand.
Who are you taking?
But I'm still taking Metcalf. Metcalf because he's a proven commodity.
Okay. And again, based on what I said about offense,
who knows what's going to happen with the kid? But the kid could have a great season, and I believe in him.
Zay Flowers, all these guys are in that middle second tier. Yeah,
Metcalf.
Yeah,
because he is the focus of that offense of the air game. He is the focus.
Yeah. Now I know we're going to run the ball. I've talked about the philosophy of the Steelers, but I just think based upon hopefully Arthur Smith is using that knowledge that if I have it, they have it.
Yeah.
Single high safety, get that defense in a spot where Metcalf can take advantage.
And who was the same big body wide receiver that Arthur Smith coached for 4 years in Tennessee? Okay, who now has, 1 Super Bowl ring with the Philadelphia Eagles? Okay, you look at A.J. Brown. By the way, both of them from the same college team. Okay, Metcalf and Brown. Bookends, twins. Big guys, go get it guys, physical guys. So expect some A.J. Brown production out of DK Metcalf, no doubt. But I still say that Pickens is going to have more touchdowns. I just do. He's going to have more opportunities for touchdowns. He's going to have more touchdowns.
Well, the offense is going to be prolific compared to what the Steelers' offense
they have
is going
to
be. Yeah, they have to.
They have to.
Yeah, no, that's fair in that sense.
Especially if they keep dragging their feet and they don't sign Micah. I mean, come on, Micah Parsons is easily the most disruptive presence in the NFL. Easily.
Yeah.
Okay, easily. They would, especially when he had, what's his face as the defensive coordinator. God, I can't remember his freaking name right now. He's the head coach of the Commanders. I'm blanking. But anyway, he is the most disruptive force. Yes, I know. What? You want to talk about kickers? What?
Frank texted me.
Frank? Where's Charlie Brown?
Sorry.
Well, we'll get to kickers in a minute, Frank.
I had Charlie lined up earlier. He was right here.
Right.
And he kept falling because he's probably drunk. And
he's a kicker. That's why.
Yeah. So anyway.
He's a kicker and a pitcher, and he's really bad at both.
Sorry.
So you're going to see an elevation in production. That's for sure. I think you're going to see an elevation of production from T. Higgins. T. Higgins, who is supposed to be a 1A, he's getting WR1 money. Okay, I think you're going to see an uptick in production from him because Cincinnati is in the same boat. Okay, their premier defender unsigned. Okay, their owner is a cheap idiot. Okay, doesn't know where to spend the money right. I would have let T. Higgins go. I'd have traded him by now. I would have traded him. I would have traded him. I would have put more pieces on defense. I think that you have a quarterback in Cincinnati that makes receivers better. I really do.
Oh, there's no question.
Okay, there's no question about that. Yeah. Okay, so instead of keeping T. Higgins, and praying that you could score 50 points a game and maybe make the playoffs. Okay? You trade Higgins, get some draft capital, use some of that money to improve the defense so that your quarterback doesn't have to come out and score 50 points a game. Okay? You go use draft capital and go get wide receivers in the second round. Okay? You can do that in the NFL because they're all over the place. But no, I'm not even going to start with Cincinnati. The Brown family has screwed that franchise up, and they will never win a Super Bowl. Never. Joe Burrow, get out of Cincinnati. Run for your life. When your contract is up,
Come to Pittsburgh.
go.
Go to Pittsburgh.
Go to Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Go to Pittsburgh.
Trade him everything.
Go anywhere else.
Here's what I would trade for him
I
right
don't
now.
care.
I would give them the Permente's brother franchise. I would move all the stores to Cincinnati.
That's a lot for a Pittsburgher.
I would do that. I would give them T.J. Watt. I would give them J.J. Watt, even though he's not playing anymore. I give them both Watts.
What about partial ownership of Iron City Beer?
If they want that too, they can have it. I'd also give them. Let's see, what else would I give them? I'd give them PNC Park because they don't play baseball there anymore. They're terrible. Yeah, whatever they want. For Joe Burrow.
Oh, you
Give
turn
them
on the
everything.
Pirates.
Give them everything.
Just give them everything
Yeah,
to get Joe Burrow.
Get Joe to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Cincinnati is pathetic. I'm tired of them. I really am.
Yeah.
And especially, how can you mismanage your money like that? They even had a $15 million rise in the salary cap, and they still managed to overspend on your WR2. Morons. So they're going to get what if it's 9-8 because of Joe Burrow, 10-7 because of Joe Burrow, and because of the big three that they've got or the big four that they've got, fine. But that's not a formula for success. And these players need balance in their systems for them to be successful. Okay, there's no offensive wonders strictly on offense make it to the playoffs. None of them. I don't care. There has to be a strength on defense.
Yeah, a presence.
A presence on defense, even if it's just a strong pass rush. Okay, case in point, the Miami Dolphins. On paper, they're supposed to have a very strong pass rush. Okay, but they've got a third-tier cornerback as their top corner. They got a bunch of nobodies back there, and it's gonna be shootouts every week. So,
you know what he just told me?
What?
He told me that Dave Canales is going to win Offensive Coach of the Year for OC. That's what he just told me. Go get yourself some Xavier Legette.
Not Xavier Legette. The McMillan kid. That's the
well,
rookie.
everybody's talking
The rookie
about
is the one.
McMillan, according to this, has been taken in the fourth round.
Chuba Hubbard
Okay.
and McMillan.
Go get yourself some Xavier Legette.
You go ahead.
They
Go
got
ahead and do
talent
that.
on that team.
You go ahead and do that.
You know, we talked about this last week about Carolina's offense. And again, growing pains last year, rookie quarterback struggled early. Not a lot of talent either. Okay, you got to have talent to make plays. They didn't have a lot of it.
They went and got a couple of more offensive linemen.
Their philosophy is going to be throwing the football this year. Okay, they were, I told you, 13th in terms of neutral pass rate. Another lovely metric.
Bryce Young can grip it and rip it.
And, that offense under Dave Canales, I think that is going to be impressive this year.
Yeah,
certainly on the radar. Put it that way.
I tell a lot of people, buy into offenses.
Yeah.
Buy into an offensive scheme. And if you do not have the best players in that offensive scheme, then look for role players in that offensive scheme.
Do you know what I'm going to refer this to in terms of comparisons? You remember a couple years ago when CJ was a rookie, Stroud, and all of a sudden the receivers like tanked out was amazing, and Nico Collins was, we know who he is now, but why? Because CJ Stroud took the leap, and he played phenomenal, throws the deep ball, ran the offense.
He took the leap right out of college.
Yeah,
so he was
tremendous.
Rookie of the Year for crying out loud.
Now, a guy like Young, not every quarterback comes out, balls on fire.
He was horrible, but he had a horrible staff, though.
Yeah, but it's starting to click, and it's getting dangerous, and the pieces are in place.
Well, listen, this is something that I said 3 years ago when Mike McDaniel took over the Dolphins. I said, you're going to see a trend towards these cerebral coaches, these millennial coaches that relate to your Zoomer players. Okay, now we're getting to the point. Once again, the NFL youth is always served in the NFL. The NFL is a league of young players. Why? Because your shelf life isn't very long when you're getting the crap beat out of you all the time. All right? Let's just face facts. So you have to start hiring coaches that relate to these kids. You just do. You just really, really do. And guys like Cohen and Canales and McDaniel and Gannon out in Arizona. Okay, we've seen McVay. McVay is one of the boys.
Don't forget about the Raiders right now and that culture change.
Well, Pete Carroll is still 26.
He's
for
out
crying
there
out
running
loud.
laps
I hate
with
him.
the team.
I hate him so much. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's a guy I love to hate.
But we always talk up environment and how important it is and how much of a factor
you got to be good to these kids. You got to relate to them. Otherwise, they're not going to play for you. They're not going to play for you. Okay, look at John Gruden. John Gruden still inspired a lot of loyalty and a lot of really good play from his players because he related to them as men. Okay, he treated these boys, okay, let's face it, 21, 22, 23 years old coming out of college. He came out, he's like, yeah, okay, you know.
Unless you're Ryan Tannehill,
but,
you're 36.
Yeah, but he came off as a cool uncle. Okay, he came off as a cool uncle. All right. I mean, listen, you look at some of the guys that played for him, and they're still wildly loyal to him because when they came out of college and he picked them out of college or they picked them up or whatever, and he was a great leader. He gets everybody included. He relates to players. Okay. Now you get these younger coaches that are relating to players, and the players are responding, and you cannot discount that in any way, shape, or form anymore. I mean, I would say probably the biggest case in point is Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell comes out there and he's
biting your kneecaps
right.
off. Yeah, that's
but you know what? He's everybody's cool uncle. He's everybody's cool uncle that they go to the gym with and they go have beers with afterwards. And who knows? Maybe even smoke a joint out behind the dumpster. Who knows? But he's the cool uncle, and he's always got the right thing to say. He's always got the wisdom. He's always got the toughness. And he treats you like an adult, even though you have come through a system in college where you still got to be a kid a little bit, and now you've come into now everybody's blowing smoke up your ass, and everybody's ball washing you left and right about how great you are, and he just says, "Come on in, sit down, let's go, let's get to work. All right, yeah, no, we'll talk afterwards." And then you go out and you have beers, and wow, coach is cool. Okay, you have to relate to these kids. I mean, that's, Andy Reid. Andy Reid's everybody's cool uncle. He's been everybody's cool uncle since 1995. All right? And that's just been his style. And now look at his success. He's Mount Rushmore now. He's on Mount Rushmore. He's one of the greats. So you got to get those young coaches that can relate to them kids. Kickers.
What are we doing? I don't know, Charlie. I can't help you.
I'm going to pull the ball away.
Yeah.
I really will. No, I'll hold it this time, really, the whole time. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. We have hit the noon mark, and we got stuff to do. Yeah. Anybody want to buy a house?
Hey, we got a house for sale.
We got a house for sale. Yeah, we do. Actually, out. Oh my God! Can I tell you something? The location of this house that we have on the market. Okay, first of all, it's a nice house. It's a loft. It's a townhouse. It's in great condition. But the location just gets me. It's right there in West Boca by everything. Everything. I mean, it's literally walkable. If you really wanted it, it's less than a mile walk. And there's a great strip mall with 4 great restaurants and 3 or 4 great stores.
I love Lazy Dog in there.
Yeah, exactly. Lazy Dog Brewery right there. A Chick-fil-A right there. Yeah. And it is an amazing area. If you want to get in your car and go drive because it's 1,000,000 degrees outside and you take a quick drive, and I'm talking about quick, I'm talking about like a minute down the street, you have movie theaters and more great restaurants and a Whole Foods market and Dick's Sporting Goods and just everything. Out of was it Super Walmart is right down the street there, or and on the other side there's a pub. I mean, it's an amazing area. It really, really is, and I say I hope that it goes fast, but it's going to go fast. It really is. The real estate market is making a comeback. It's going to make a comeback. Well, once you've seen the prime interest rate maybe get cut by a 0.5 point, banks are going to go nuts Banks have been like big dogs on the end of a chain right now, and they're just like, they want to give you money. They want to lend you money.
Of course they do.
Okay, they're even going so far as to offer introductory offers under 7%. It's very select few. You have to have really good credit and all of that noise, but it's not like banks and lenders don't want to lend you money, but there's that interest rate that's there. Yeah. So we're going to see that go down. We're going to see the market go up, and I'm going to end up expanding this channel, the Gonzo Radio Network, to include the real estate adventures, and to include the Gonzo Radio Show, the entertainment product, and things are looking up. Things are moving forward. Anything to add?
No, me and Charlie are ready to wrap it up.
Draft a kicker.
Get a kicker if you can.
Okay.
Ask kickers.
So on behalf of myself, Lucy Van Pelt, and the rest of the gang here, you are so mean. Que peligrosa, coño. I'm Big Daddy, and we will see you next week. Yes, next week. There's nothing going on next week.
There's everything going on next week.
We got a draft next week.
One day at a time.
We got a draft next week.
Yes, we do. 2 drafts next week.
Oh my God, is it at noon? If it's at noon, then we're gonna have to come back here at 10 o'clock. I'll keep you abreast of any schedule changes.
Is that the Twin Peaks one next week?
No, that would be the
Danny's
35th annual
yours.
Louis Football
Yeah,
League.
yours is at 6, right? 6 o'clock you're doing it?
Yep.
Okay.
No, not 6 o'clock. I thought it was at 3 o'clock.
Oh, you back
We'll
it up?
find out.
Cool.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.